All right, we're back now at 8:40 with the test that almost every high schooler dreads. It's the SAT exam beginning in March. The College Board will be implementing some pretty big changes to that test, including a new structure and a revised scoring system. Our friend Rob Franek is the Senior Vice President and publisher of the Princeton Review's Cracking the New SAT. Rob, good to see you. Good morning.
Good to be back, Willie.
Before we chat a little bit about the new test, let's get the answer to that question. The question before the break was, Taylor is 6 feet tall, 1 foot equals approximately 0.3 meters. Which of the following is closest to Taylor's height in meters? Is it A, 1.8, B, 2, C, 18, or D, 20? The answer, please, is 1.8. The answer was A. And is that the percentage right there? Who got it right? Yeah, 57% of you got it right. Well, that's pretty good.
Pretty good. Good averages.
Now, we talked earlier this week about college admissions boards kind of de-emphasizing the tests a little bit, but you say kids still should take the SAT.
Absolutely. There are 4,000 four-year colleges out there, most of which are going to take the SAT or the ACT. But even for those 900 test-optional schools, many of them are still considering SAT and ACT scores for scholarship dollars for those average students coming in.
Okay, so still take the test. Now, let's talk broadly, quickly. What are some of the big changes coming to the SAT?
Biggest change is that we're moving from a 2,400-point cumulative score to a 1,600-point score, very much like the test
that we used to be.
Totally.
Right.
But the test is very different. Right now, there's a compulsory essay requirement for the SAT, and that will be going away on the new test. So that's the second big change.
Okay, so let's talk about some pros and cons of these changes. We'll start right here. There's no penalty for wrong answers. That feels good.
This is a huge coup for students. When we think about the current SAT, it's a quarter point off for every incorrect answer. On the new test, no points off for incorrect answers, so no guessing penalty.
Okay, as we moonwalk for you this way, let's go. Only 4 options for multiple choice answers. That's new.
Another huge coup for students. Right now, there's 5 answer choices. We're going to 4. No guessing penalty, so it's always good for students to guess, particularly now with 4 answer choices.
Okay, let's move back now. Vocabulary words more commonplace. What do we mean here?
Less obscure vocabulary. One of the hardest things I can do for a Princeton Review student is say, learn these 500 vocabulary words for the test, so that's going away. Still vocabulary on the exam, but it's going to be in the reading section of most of those passages.
I'm having flashbacks right now of those words. A baloo is a bear, a yunker is a young man. I've never used those words since. Okay, now let's get to some of the cons, things people may not like about the new test. Calculator use restricted.
It is, and right now on the math section of the SAT, you can use it on any section for math, but only on one section for the new exam.
Okay, and it used to be able to use it much more openly.
Absolutely, you can use it for any of the math sections, but it's changing just to one.
Okay, another con, the sections have gotten a bit longer.
This is true. There are fewer sections and there are longer sections. So the way I talk about it with students is you have to be an Olympian when it comes to timing and testing. So you have to know what that test structure is going to be, and you have to be able to think about that timing in a very distinct way.
A little practice beforehand
Totally.
probably doesn't hurt. All right, questions do involve multiple steps on the new test.
I can't emphasize this one enough. These are questions that are going to be difficult for students to get to those answers. Now there is huge strategy around those things, and I think that there's ways that students can really improve their scores, but this is a good one for students to keep in their notes.
All right, so let's give kids and their parents some takeaway here. Number 1, you say choose the test that's best for you.
That is right. There's not just one test in the land. The SAT or the ACT are perfectly admissible to any schools. Some students choose to take one or the other students take both. Perfectly admissible from an admissions perspective.
Spend time preparing. It can be very expensive to get a tutor. How else can you prepare for these things?
You can go to a book. You can go online. We offer so many classes at Princeton Review in any of those ilk, but you have to spend at least 2 months of preparation for SAT or ACT or for both.
And finally, you've captured my SAT strategy, which is always guess.
Always guess, particularly with no guessing penalty, only 4 answers.
All right, Rob, great to see you. Thanks so much. If you want to test your SAT skills, we've got more sample questions at today.com.